Hello everyone, myself Sumala Biradar. In previous video we discussed about Tiger hash function. Let's see summary of the Tiger hash function. As we know that Tiger hash function, so it is contains the 24 rounds. Okay, so now each intermediate node's values, what are the output you'll get now, it is of the size 192 bits size, and in inner rounds it contains S box, which is claimed that each input bit affects the ABC after 3 rounds. Okay, after every rounds what are the ABC will get, no, those ABC values are mapped with the 64 bits in the S box, that is substitution box. Next is key schedule. So it claims that small change in message affects many bits of intermediate hash values. As you know that, okay, with the help of the key scheduling algorithm, you will get the for W0 as a different value, for W1 is different value, and W2 is a different value. In one round, what are the values you will get now? In the next round, those values are once again it is interchanged and it is depends on the previous values here. So that's why based on the key schedule algorithm, if you are make the any changes in the original message, so what are the output you will get now, that is totally different here. And multiply, okay, designed to ensure that input to S box is one round mixed into a many S boxes in input here, that a multiplier you are using, no. So now here you are using the combination of S boxes, key schedule and multiply. It is designed to ensure strong avalanche effect here. So avalanche effect is very simple. So if any changes if you are doing the messages, no, so after that what are the effect you will get, no, that is very big here. Okay, as we know that small changes in message affects the many bits of the intermediate hash values, so that's why you'll get the totally different hash value here. That effect only you call as a avalanche effect here. So note, a desirable property of any cryptographic hash function is the called as a avalanche effect here. The goal is that any small change in the input should cascade or cause a large change in the output here. So even if you add only white space also, or any comma or any delimiter also, if you add to the any message, so with that due to that changes, what are the hash key you will get, no, that hash key is totally different here. That is what any small change in the input, it provides a or causes a large change in the output here. At a high level, Tiger employs confusion and the diffusion. Okay, that is substitution and the permutation effects. This is the summary about the Tiger hash function. Next is HMAC. You can also call as a hashed MAC. MAC is message authentication code here. Why we go for this hashed MAC? Let's see. As we know that if you are use the any of the hash function, so now it provides the security, as we already know the example that. So if Alice computes for the message H as a hash, okay, hash value using the any of the hash function, and Alice will sends that message and hash value to Bob now. Okay, so whenever Bob receive this message, okay, the message, and along with the message you are having the hash value of the message here. So at the receiver end, Bob will receive. After receiving that, once again Bob will, okay, apply the same hash function to the message. So what are the hash value will get now? Bob will get, no, that it is compared with this hash value. If it is same, then meaning of that one is what? Yes, this is the message. It is sent by the Alice only. Okay, that's why it can prove the confidentiality here. In case, yes, it provides the confidentiality and it proves that you are receiving the message from the Alice only. For example, Trudy as an attacker, if the Trudy replaces M with the M dash, okay, in the place of the message M, so this Trudy, what will attacker will do now? Trudy is the attacker, okay. That person replace M with the M dash, and in the place of, okay, h of m, it replaced with the h of m dash here. Okay, this 2D also calculate the hash value for this m dash. What are the hash value you will get for this m dash? That only it sends. Okay, here assumption is what? 2D know that which hash function you are used for generating the hash key here. Okay, so with the help of that knowledge, this 2D, what the Trudy will do now? So they, okay, Trudy will generate its own message. It may be the evil message, and for that message hash value is calculated. Now in the place of M and HM, this Trudy will send the message as a M dash and the H of M dash here. When Bob receives, what happens? Bob will think that yes, I am receiving the message from the allies, but it is not the message received by the allies here. So it is M dash here. So for that M dash, Bob will calculate the hash value. So you will get, okay, Bob will get the hash values of h of M dash. It is same as the what are the, okay, hash value it is received by the Bob here. So is it correct here? No. Here it fails to provide the message integrity because you are changing the message here. So if you are make the changes in the messages, in that situation even it fails to prove that it is the message is sent by the allies here. So that is the one problem here. Here this methods, what are the hash function methods you are using, no, all those methods are failed in providing the hash, okay, message integrity. That's why we have to go for hashed MAC here. Let's see what actually hashed MAC. So for message integrity, we can compute a message authentication code. As I told, MAC is what it is, message authentication code, where MAC is the computed using a block cipher in a, okay, CBC mode here, and MAC is the final encrypted block, which is also known as a CBC residue here. So in the place of the hash value, here they use the message authentication code, and that message authentication code only you call as a CBC residue here. Okay. So now here in the place of only message, if you are sent the key also, that key is known by only sender, allies and the receiver Bob here, then you can provide this message integrity. So here question is, okay, how will send the message? What is the, okay, order of sending the message in the key here, and what is the order? Because if you are interchanging the, okay, these two, okay, then also what are the hash value you'll get? No, it is totally different. You already know that thing. So that's why here you have two approaches. Either, okay, if you want to send the, okay, calculate the, okay, hash value for the message, instead of for only message, if you are calculate the hash value for combination of the key and the message. That key is known by only allies and the Bob here. So then you can provide the integrity here, message integrity. So either you take key first or you can take key next here. That is what, there are two approaches are there. One is prepend the key to the message or append the key to the message. Before message you can take key, add the key, or after the message you can add the key. So based on that, what are the hash value you will get now? That hash value is secured here. How much it is secured? Let's see. So this is the, I'll take the sample. You already know that how actually your tiger hash function works here. So this is your message in the tiger hash function. It is divided as a blocks, as a message. Assume that it is divided as a two blocks, B1 and B2, where each block is of size 512 bits. Now I'm taking the example for the tiger hash only. Then h of m is what it is, message here. So now in the tiger hash function, you already know that it works in the form of the rounds here. So in the first row, A is what it is. It is a fixed initial constant. ABC are the initial constant, and message. What is the message? First x of I you are taken. No? Same thing here. A is your ABC and B1 is what? Xi here. So for this one you are performing the function, that is the f of I, f of 7, like that. Okay. Next is second block here. And for this you will combine. What are the output you will get from this F5 now? That one will take as an input to the next F7 here. So in the F7, B2 is the, what it is? B2 is the input here. Okay. Combination of this two will take as a input and will perform the function here. Okay. So now it is equivalent to f of h of b of 1 comma b of 2 here. Okay. So h of m, if it is equivalent to what it is, if you are apply the hash function for the b1, and what are the result you will get, that result if you are, okay, apply with the second block. So if you are append that hash value with the second block, so for the second block what are the result you will get now, that one you will append with the third block here. Okay, third block contains what? Message and hash value of the previous block here, and you are performing the same function repeatedly here. So this is what the procedure you know as a tiger hash function here. Okay. So this concept is known by the Trudy here. Trudy know what is the function, how tiger hash function works here. So in the place of this M, once again Trudy will play the game of the attacker here. Trudy is the attacker. So once again Trudy what will make now? Trudy will use the message M dash. It is the evil message. So that M dash is equal to m comma x here. M comma x are what here? So your original message and it is the next message here. So now even Trudy don't know what is the key here. Trudy know only the function here. In earlier you know that with the help of the function, so that message integrity is violated. So now here that's why to prevent that you are using the one concept as what? Along with the message you are calculating the hash value for the key also. Then you can prevent from such type of the violation. But here this is the one more example. Even if you take this one also, okay, Trudy will get to know that what is your message here. How? Let's see here. As I told, in the place of m, now you are using the m dash here. So I don't know what is the key here. So h of key comma m dash is equal to what it is? H of key m x here. Okay, message blocks and the key here. That is equal to what it is? Function. Function of h of key comma m equal to x here. Hash value of this one and next block here, same thing here. Okay, so but Trudy know the function here. So with the help of that function, Trudy will get to know that what is the hash value here. Okay, so if they know the hash value, then what happens here? So they can guess what is the key here, but it is the guesswork here. But this guesswork, when it works, now at present it doesn't work here, because if you know the key, then only you will get the value. Function is known here, but key values don't know here. So as the concept of tiger hash, if you know the function, yes, it is possible to move for the next blocks here. Okay, so if the Trudy guess what is the key, then it is very simple to get back what is the message here. Okay, so that one happens when if the collision exists. Okay, if collision is not exist, then guessing of the key is highly impossible here. So if collision exists, then for example, collision means what it is? So this evil message hash value and your innocent message hash value, if it is same, so that time you call as a collision here. If that collision is exist, then that Trudy with the help of the known function, Trudy will get to know that what is the key here. Okay, with the help of this function. Okay, so tiger hash function is known by the Trudy. That Trudy is the attacker, and with the help of that this one. Okay, that Trudy will access that h of m comma k here. So now here m is replaced with the m dash and it will perform the function here. So what are the functions you will value will get? No hash value. That hash value it sends to pop here, even that without the knowledge of the key here, because hash value of the m dash and hash value of the m is same here. So in the place of hash value of the m, okay, now it replaced with the m dash here. Okay, but this one is okay, it is secure, but it is when it is insecure if collision exists. If collision is not exist, then it is highly secured here. Yes, it provides the message integrity here. So but some loophole is there. Okay, if collision exists, then this one is works here. So now question is you have to overcome from that drawback also. So for that you have to go for the approach, that is what we call as the hashed MAC here. So this approved method, it consists of mix of the key into a hash for a computing the HMAC. How what it is? Let's see. Let B be the block length of hash and in bytes here. So now you are taking the block length of the hash in bytes here. So for all popular hash methods, as you know that MD5, message digest 5, secure hash algorithm 1, tiger, etc. So they are using the bit length of p equal to 64 it is in bytes. Okay, next thing. Okay, that same message. Okay, what are the functions you are using? No, this popular hash functions only you are using, but you are making changes. What is that changes? You are taking the key values. What is that key value? You are using iPad and OPAD. For your message you are padding. So what you are padding? That is you are padding with the 36. It is repeated for p times. B times means what? 64 bytes here. So OPAD 0, 5. Okay, 0 into this is the what it is? It is appended here. Padding for the iPad and OPAD are what it is? These are the two hexadecimal values, and it is added to the your message bit here. Okay. So how many beat you are having now? That times it is repeated here. OPAD and the PPAD here. So that is the function here. HMAC m comma key here. M is what it is? Message, and K is the key here. So now if you want to calculate the hash value, then what is the procedure? It is equal to key XOR with the OPAD, and this OPAD and key is known by only the Alice and the Bob here. In the same way, comma hash function for K XOR with the IPAD here. This IPAD value, XOR value, hexadecimal value of the IPAD and hexadecimal value as a OPAD they are taken here, and they are performing the XOR with the key here. And here message. So first they will calculate the hash value for the key and IPAD, and what are the result will get. No, that one it is appended with the M here, prepared with the M here. So then that message it is once again calculated the hash value for that. So that hash value once again it is what it is? It is appended to this one. Keep XOR with the OPAD. So this is the result whatever you get, no, that result, and what are the result you will get for this one as a hash value, no. So these two messages once again it is added, and next hash function is applied here. So same hash function you are applying twice here, once with the IPAD and once with the OPAD here. So in this way you are getting the message integrity for this function here. Is it clear now? HMAC. So HMAC you are using for which purpose? To provide the message integrity. So here this IPAD value and key value and OPAD values are known by the Alice and the Bob only. So even if truly as the attackers, if they change the message also in the place of M, if they take the M dash, then what actually IPAD value is unknown, OPAD value is unknown, and key is also unknown. That's why it is highly impossible for the truly to exchange the hash value here. Okay. So this is about your HMAC. Is it clear now? Okay. Thank you.